On today's episode of the Ango Show, we're going to be talking about WWE possibly doing Joe Hendry versus John Cena at WrestleMania. Also, a WWE superstar has re-signed. We have the update on the contract, and we are going to talk about a big update surrounding Drew McIntyre. What really went down after the Rumble? If you guys like professional wrestling news and rumors and opinions, then you're definitely going to want to click subscribe to this channel because, ladies and gentlemen, tons of things are happening this year and you definitely don't want to miss it. Let's kick things off with Drew McIntyre. There has just been a ton of talk about Drew after the Royal Rumble storming out. We actually talked about this live on the Ango Show today at 12 p.m. If you guys aren't watching live, you definitely don't want to miss it. But now we actually got an update, and I feel like it's really important to provide this update. According to Sportskeeda's Chris Featherstone, he says McIntyre's frustrations have cooled off and things are moving forward between him and WWE. Obviously, a lot of people thought that this could lead to some sort of backstage drama with Drew McIntyre. Listen, I mentioned this on the live show. I think it's really important that we acknowledge this here today. Drew McIntyre has said it himself. If it didn't come from his mouth, if it's not on his social media pages or WWE, then do not believe it, which is obviously very difficult because you know how the dirt sheets are, and I think we have to be cognizant of that. However, on the flip side, listen, something obviously didn't happen correctly. If you watch the Royal Rumble, I watched it back a couple times. It is very clear when Drew McIntyre was eliminated by Damian Priest, the whole thing was just a little sloppy and a little bit weird. So I could definitely understand if Drew McIntyre was upset about that. Now, as far as Drew McIntyre going backstage and going ape shit, to be honest, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. Now, I do want to point this out as well. Drew McIntyre is the ultimate professional and he's the ultimate villain. Drew McIntyre is really good at messing with the dirt sheets. And we're starting to realize that sometimes when it comes to stories surrounding Drew McIntyre, they're really difficult to believe in, right? With that being said, let's just say this is all very real. Let's just say it's not a work. Obviously, I'm happy to hear that things have cooled off. Drew McIntyre is one of my favorite talents in the wrestling business. This past year was one of the most iconic runs. He's had really, really good storytelling. This guy continues to evolve. And I just really look forward to the day that WWE really gives him the world championship, which I would like to see that happen at some point in the near future. I fantasy booked this kind of thing for a while on the live streams, but I definitely think the world title gets back around his waist. I think he definitely deserves it. Do I think him and Damian Priest is a top feud? No, but do I think it will be a good feud? Yes. So I very much look forward to seeing what they do and how they build it up. Okay, everybody, I want to turn our attention to Alexa Bliss. We saw that she returned to the company. Obviously, a lot of people are very confused about what's going on. And this is where the dirt sheets have definitely made things a little bit more difficult to pay attention to. And that is largely due to the fact that I think WWE absolutely swerved everybody. Now, there is a couple updates regarding her contract situation. I've seen some people leave some comments on Twitter or on my YouTube videos recently that Alexa Bliss only signed for that one night. That is not true. Fightful has reported that WWE hammered out a new 5-year contract with Alexa Bliss, and it was signed on Saturday, and Bliss was flown into town. Regarding the merchandise being prepared, WWE actually had prepared her merchandise for her eventual return weeks before, and it was said that she was originally slated to return in San Jose, which is where Penta made his debut. With that being said, PW Insider did say that she will be working on Raw moving forward. Now, obviously, with Alexa Bliss getting a new 5-year long contract, that's fantastic news. And it's good to see that WWE has done a relatively awesome job re-signing their talent. Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, now Alexa Bliss being added to the list. That's a significant thing that I think I actually have to speak about because I have mentioned for a long time, Endeavor was relatively cheap when it came to retaining UFC fighters. And watching the UFC lose out on multiple guys because they weren't willing to pay up the money was something I was really, really scared about initially with WWE joining forces with them. So, listen, me personally, I do have to tell you guys that I was absolutely wrong. WWE has done a really good job, for the most part, retaining talent. I thought Endeavor would be cheap. I thought WWE and TKO and this whole thing would lead to them not giving out the contracts that people deserve. Alexa Bliss is regarded as a top star in the company. The company was very happy with her return. Obviously, fans were really happy as well. The whole building was literally going crazy. So that is a sign that people are excited. But as I mentioned in previous content, guys, this is a thing that I can't ignore either. And I have to mention this here. The whole situation with Alexa Bliss, what really shocks me or really scares me is the fact that the Wyatt Six have been moved to SmackDown and she'll be on Raw moving forward, despite the fact that she has the Lily doll with the 6 stitched into the eye. So for me personally, I don't really know what to make of this. I don't know exactly what their plan is. I don't know if PWInsider.com is correct here in the fact that she'll be moving to Raw. But I look forward to seeing what they do with her, and I hope it all works out. 5-year contract, obviously a big deal, and that is a really good thing. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. And that brings us to Joe Hendry. He was on Ariel Helwani today, and he talked about some very interesting stuff. We have seen Joe Hendry publicly speak out about wanting a match with John Cena. Now on the Ariel Helwani show, he is not, listen, we can't rule this out. This is a very big possibility. And what's really interesting here is that WWE has fully taken advantage of the popularity that comes with Joe Hendry. When he appears on WWE programming, the social media views and the YouTube videos and everything surrounding it gets millions and millions of views across all platforms, which is a massive deal. That is an indicator that what they are doing is popular. It's being shared. People are talking about it. And obviously WWE loves this whole idea of being viral. Now, what's really intriguing to me is when he talks to Ariel Helwani about this, he actually said he had a lengthy conversation with John Cena. And basically, John Cena told him, if you want this, like, they can make it happen if this is what the people actually want. And he challenges Joe Hendry to figure this out, basically. He's challenging Joe Hendry to prove that this could be a thing. And listen, it's very weird because there's a lot of talk and rumors about John Cena in WrestleMania 41. I don't know if WWE would ever allow a TNA World Championship match on WrestleMania, but listen, I want to start the movement. I like Joe Hendry a lot. There's a lot of business reasons as to why they should do it. And Joe Hendry versus John Cena is obviously a fantasy matchup that he wants. And, I think it's our job as part of the IWC. If we want to see something like this happen, we got to be vocal about it. And the fact that John Cena is not shutting this down, he's putting all the pressure on Joe Hendry, tells me that this could very well be a realistic thing if WWE and TNA see a ton of momentum towards it. Now, I don't know if we'll ever see John Cena in TNA programming, but imagine John Cena versus Joe Hendry at Slammiversary in UBS Arena, right? If the people want it, you never know what can happen. That's why this is absolutely crazy. Nothing is off the table. WWE is all about social media numbers. They're all about pay-per-view watches and clips and this and that. I'm excited to see what happens. Let me know what you guys think down below.